What's going on, everybody? My name is Eric Velasquez, and I am interviewing all the candidates for the San Antonio City Council elections and mayoral election that's coming up here in May. And then I'll show you here at the bottom. Early voting starts April 19th and ends April 27th, and election day is May 1st. So we're going to go ahead and bring on our next guest here. We're trying to do a candidate a day. That's the goal. Because there's a lot of candidates. So I think there's 82. So we're definitely trying to get to everybody. We have contacted everybody so far that's in the city council and mayoral. So if you haven't heard from me, definitely make sure you contact me so that way we can make sure we get you scheduled to do the interview. So we're going to go ahead and bring our next guest. So let me bring him on. What's going on, Curtis? How are you?
I'm great, Eric. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, definitely. And so let me see here. I'm going to put up the graphic here. So go ahead and just introduce yourself to everybody watching.
Okay, my name is Curtis Mueller. I've been in San Antonio, of course, District 4 since 1983. Uh, I'm a husband and father and an advocate. Um, I spend a lot of time working with sexual assault survivors and things like that. And I feel like now is as good a time as any to try to advocate for everybody. So.
Definitely. Awesome. We already have a question here. Anthony Pacella says, hello, hello. Let's see if we have a patriot ready to defend freedom, liberty, and get some serious police reform going on in the city. I guess let's just go ahead and get started with that question.
Okay.
It's going real quick now. So what is your take on everything going on? Do you think there needs to be any kind of changes with the police department? Do you think that we're taking the right steps or we're not taking the right steps? What's your take?
I fully support the SAPD. I used to volunteer with them. I did ride-alongs with them for a long time. And I do feel that there are things that they don't need to do. They need to focus more on actual crimes and safety and not, simple, sorry, not simple mental health issues or things like that. I did see that we do have a mental health department now that basically goes out there with a officer and a mental health counselor. So I definitely think that's a great start. But I really think the cops need to be focusing on our actual safety and not, the tertiary items that, somebody else could handle.
Gotcha. And if anybody would like to join the live stream just to ask a question directly to the candidate, you can as well. Just by click on the link that I have down below in the comment section here on Facebook. So you can go ahead and click on the link and actually come in and ask a question, or you can just type it into the comment box, and that's fine as well. So great. So what would be the first item of business that you would like to accomplish if you do get elected into office? And there might be a couple, but just, maybe first one.
My main platform is actually equality through technology. So I feel that we are at the point where we need to be offering everybody internet access, period. Like, I feel there should be a public service that the city is offering. Apparently, in my district, back in 2018, only 39% of the people were online. So that's 61% that don't have access to telehealth, that don't have access to vaccine appointments, that don't have access to information. And I think getting everybody equal to the access is part of getting people closer to equality.
Okay. Yeah, that is one of the things that one of the questions that I had is what would you like to see with bridging the gap between basically the city council and the citizens as far as getting information and resources out, and that would be one of them. So what do you think you can do? Let's say if that's not going to work right now, right? So what are some other plans that you would like to do to be able to get that information to the constituents if you're in office, and how would you like to see that?
Well, I would definitely have my office phone line where anybody could call me for absolutely any issue that they have online or in the city. Um, I'm very IT oriented, so I do a lot of scam emails, letting people know what scams are out there. I definitely feel we need to pretty much tell everybody every day that nobody is going to be accepting Google Play gift cards or iTunes gift cards to pay an actual bill or to bail somebody out. And
Right.
unfortunately, people fall for this all the time because, they assume that everybody is up and up, that people are always going to be straight shooters, and they aren't.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I hate the fact that the optimistic people out there are getting, taken advantage of because they just assume that everybody's good and has their best interest at heart, and they don't.
Yeah. And that's so sad. I wish that our world wasn't like that, but it's frustrating, because you see a lot of elderly people getting taken advantage of, and yeah, it's definitely not good. Uh, so what are some of the things that you feel, some of the issues that you feel that are not being addressed in the district right now?
Well, I know that we have a huge issue with human trafficking, and that's one of my main, like, I want to do as much as I possibly can about that. That is a super, super bad issue. Like, it's so
Yeah.
common here, and our SAPD has a good human trafficking program. The Rape Crisis Center is doing a lot towards it as well, but I've thought about ways where, we can try to get rid of it by turning the no-tells in, the not so fancy areas, taking those no-tells and turning them into like homeless veteran housing, because vets are the people that they care about their neighborhoods, and you put them in those no-tells that people are using for, you know what they're using it for, but you
Yeah.
put ex-military in there as they're healing from their PTSD or their whatever issue, put them on the streets, they're going to be protecting their new neighborhood because that's what military does. So if you put them in those old rundown hotels that, somebody, hopefully a nonprofit could buy, could, use their nonprofit status to save on the taxes and everything. And, you rebuild up that no-tell, make it housing, and suddenly you have people that care about their neighborhood. They'll help keep it safe. They'll help build it up. They'd be out there doing citizen on patrol, and it would be helping the people who have helped us, our veterans. We should not be leaving them behind. I don't think anybody is pro, veteran uh, leaving them behind, but we definitely need to be taking care of them, and we know that they would be taking care of their neighborhood and the people. And I really feel that that would help get them, into housing and work towards healing from whatever issue put them where they are.
Yeah. And I don't know if you saw my post that I posted last night about the city giving that hotel downtown $1.7 million in subsidies, or actually it was 7.5, I think, $7.5 million in subsidies. And everybody's like, what? I mean, that's crazy you know to think that all these subsidies, and that's kind of what we're talking about, is why are we giving these corporations or companies this large amount of subsidies where it could be coming back to our city, in itself.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. Anthony says, I just wrapped up a special where I agreed to walk homeless for a couple of years. We used hidden cameras. Secret Menace once told me, I have it on camera, that as a homeless person, I wasn't even allowed to ask somebody what time it was without facing arrest. Do you believe that's a proper philosophy for a police chief to have towards citizens in the city, homeless or not?
Definitely not. There's no reason for them to not let you talk to them or ask time. Like, no, those are our citizens that are
People.
very vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, these people need all the help they can get. They don't need to go to a cop and suddenly, be risking arrest or something. They already have it hard enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. What are some of the things that you think you can improve on from the current elected official? And nothing in a negative way, just something that maybe you see that maybe they started or that's in place right now, and maybe you think that you can improve upon to make it better.
I haven't actually. I follow what my current representative is doing, and she's passing out a lot of food and water, which is very commendable, amazing. Unfortunately, I haven't actually looked into what she's been doing. I've just been focused on, my message.
Yeah. So what made you want to do that then? Like, because a lot of things I hear from people is, oh well, you know, I wanted to see a change because the current elected official is just whatever, and the community is saying, well, we need some more leadership. So what made you want to do that jump? Because it's not an easy jump to go from thinking about running to just say I'm going to throw my hat in the ring and that's it. So what was that jump like look for you? What made you do that?
I spent the last 2 years roughly feeling helpless with our government. So when the election finally happened and I felt like I was able to breathe again, I decided that now was the time to actually try to make change, because I did not like feeling helpless. I did not like watching and saying, like, they can't do that. And then they do it. And I'm like, what the heck? How did they do that? Like, that should not be allowed. And I just, I've been advocating for people for 10 years. I want everybody to be as equal as possible. I want, I believe in our city completely. I know that we have amazing people, and I think we can be a lot better just by giving people all the opportunities that they don't currently have.
Mhm.
Like, especially the internet. Like, I
Yeah.
I find it really, like, I've done some very I was a hospital advocate for sexual assault survivors, so I saw a lot of very bad cases. Um, and coming home, it's really hard to let it go, but you need to. So when I'd come home, I'd put on something mindless to watch, or I'd go on a Wikipedia walkabout where, I'd start on whatever topic and I'd end up on like anthills in the Amazon or something. And
That's called the black hole. The
yeah,
internet black hole.
but I mean, there's people out there that don't have that,
Yeah.
There's people that are working two jobs just to make ends meet. They come home, they're tired. Like, if they heard something great at work, like something interesting, they can't just look it up when they get home.
Yeah.
And this works the same way with people that are in recovery, people that are suffering from PTSD, people that are having mental health issues. If you don't have something to help take your mind off it, if you don't have something to continue like educating yourself, people aren't living up to their full potential because they don't have the ability. But I mean, I've I've been on the internet since the 90s, of course, and
Yeah.
I've learned a lot of amazing things just because I heard about it at work. Or, you
Right.
know, wouldn't can you imagine not coming home after a long day and being able to like watch a show that you really like, or even a webinar from, your job? Like, I watch a lot of webinars about sexual assault survivors, and there are many of them, and I'm learning new things every day because You can't, when you're in a movement like that, you can't just, stagnate. You need to
Yeah,
evolve fully.
right,
And
right.
I think everybody needs that ability.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's something simple as going to YouTube to go find out how to do something like a DIY to help save you money, because
Exactly.
most of us can't afford to go do, like I think this past couple of days I helped my brother-in-law fix his belt on his truck. And it's like, we pulled up a YouTube video, and it's because you don't have money like that to be able to go, get the car fixed. And
Yeah.
so, just things like that, yeah, it's definitely something that, it's useful and it's helpful, and how to cook and how to protest your taxes is what we've talked about before. Um, Definitely. And on that topic with taxes, what are some things you would like to do to help the constituents here? And I know you can't do much as far as like changing laws or anything as a city councilman, but what are some things you would like to do to help a little bit to help the people in your district with the property taxes?
I've seen a couple people talking about freezing property taxes when gentrification happens and all that. I think that would be very good on property taxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I actually have mine due soon. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to figure out ways that we could give taxpayers breaks. There's I have millions of ideas. I don't know if any of them are feasible, but I would love to figure out, ways to make it, easier for us, for
Right,
all of
right.
us.
And yeah, definitely. And if for anybody wanting to protest their taxes, you can go to www.bcad.org. The website's there on the bottom. Um, you should be getting your appraisal here soon if you haven't gotten it already in the mail. They only send in the mail for some reason. I don't know why. Uh, and that's something that I think, if I don't know if city council can do this, but if anybody from BCAD is listening, please change your way of notifying people, especially for the meetings for the protest hearings, because for us to get a letter and then or we miss the letter for some reason, and then we miss out on protesting our taxes, but you send us an email saying that your case is closed. So, but you don't send us an email saying when our protest property taxes is. So I don't get that part. So definitely, hopefully you can change something like that, because that's ridiculous. Um, so what are some of the things that you think are being, oh, sorry. Yeah. What are some of the things that you think are not being utilized to their full potential in District 4? So something that maybe like a building or, patch of area that maybe the city owns or anything like that.
Um, that's I actually haven't looked too much into that yet, unfortunately. Um, I know like the parks over on my side are pretty good, can be better, need more cameras and things like that, but
Hmm.
um, I mean, we're definitely going to be needing to get some cooling stations for the summer. Uh, we're definitely going to be having to plan something like that for the heat wave that I'm pretty sure we're going to get.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I haven't really looked into. I plan to go this weekend and visit like the entire area and check it all out and just introduce myself around.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's switch gears. And again, anybody watching, you can also make sure you ask a question. You can jump into the live stream by the link that I provided in the comment box on Facebook. And you can come in and ask a question directly. Please keep it related to city politics and not national politics. And please keep it nice. So, um, so let's change it up here. what are your top three small business restaurants that you like to visit? If you have three, in District 4. Sorry.
All right. Big's Burgers, definitely.
Oh, that's a good one.
Saison, of course. And man, it's really hard. My wife loves buffets, and there aren't any she likes around here. Uh, Thai Hut, Thai Hut, I think.
Hi, I'm gonna type it in the box. So that way, Thai Hut.
Yes.
And then what was the other one?
Big's and Saison.
Big's Burgers. And then how do you spell Saison?
Sazon.
Oh, okay. I've heard about that. I heard it from the other candidate too. What is that place?
It's just a great Mexican restaurant right here by CVS.
Oh, okay. Cool. 3 small business. I wish I could type like I text. I feel like I text faster. Anthony says, what about funding for methadone? Lots of people are struggling with the addiction. Methadone treatment has proven effective, but the cost is out of reach for a lot of citizens trying to access it. How can we get help to those who need it?
I believe, didn't Community Care, there's a place right next to Haven for Hope that does methadone treatments, and I thought that was subsidized. But I definitely feel that we need to do an outreach to everybody and let them know that there's, treatments available. And if I'm wrong and that's changed, because that was about 5 years ago that I was out there in Haven for Hope, but we definitely need to do everything we can to help get people off of, the drugs that are ruining their, society.
Yeah. Here's Josie says, hello, Miss Mueller. I am a D4 resident, retired military, and interested in your stance on police reform and police accountability. We kind of talked about that the first question, but kind of give a little quick rundown again for that.
Cool. Josie, thank you very much for coming. I saw you were at the David Tristan one yesterday, so thank you very much for coming to mine as well. Police accountability is, if you don't trust the police, then you aren't safe. You need to trust the people that are watching you, the people that are protecting you. And if we don't have that, then you don't have the trust, and that's truly what you need for safety and public safety. So I know in some cases with some of the officers that were fired because of what they did, and I do want to mention that San Antonio we do have a very good
Hello?
Other places do. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, it cut off a little bit. I don't know if everybody heard you.
Okay.
On the last part where you said, I think San Antonio has a.
Oh yeah, San Antonio has an amazing police department. We have very few bad apples, but the ones we do, we definitely need to hold them accountable. And I think that anybody who commits a heinous crime while being police should no longer be allowed to protect us, like in person. So I know that one officer that did that sandwich, I don't remember if he got rehired or not, but he definitely shouldn't have. And
yeah, and I think with the whole chapter situation is from what what I've gathered with everything with the 143 and 174, that it is keeping those officers in the force and with pay and with back pay, So I think that's why there's the push for some of those repealing of laws. Now I think Fix SAPD has said that if you remove, and this is, I'm just kind of quoting from them, right? They said that if you remove that chapter, then a new one can be built, like um, a new, I can't think of the word, a new contract.
Cool.
But Sapoa is saying that no, it would basically make everybody want to just quit or whatever it is. And quick fact, actually, police actually are not legally obligated to protect and serve, not constitutionally.
Wow.
I don't know if anybody knew that. But but either way, though, I mean, they're there to help, right? Most of them. But I think that's where the confusion is, right? Some people are like, well, if you remove this chapter, then it's going to be complete chaos or whatever. I mean, and that's kind of what the chapters say, so to say. But I don't know, and that's where I think there's a lot of confusion between the both parties, and you know. But anything you have to say about that specific issue?
I would, like I said, I don't feel that any that officers that do crimes should be, still patrolling.
Yeah.
They have to have.
Yeah, I know. It's a tough question. Because we definitely don't want to keep paying somebody to be on the force if they're guilty. And who's going to be doing the oversight? Is it the police that are doing the oversight? Or is it citizens? And I think that's where the accountability is. Some people are saying that SAPD is great, cool, nothing needs to be changed. Um, I don't think that nothing needs to be changed. I think definitely something needs to be changed.
Yeah.
But are we going at it the right way of doing it? That's the
Not,
biggest question.
not yet, but I feel we can definitely.
Yeah. Um, what are your plans for reducing spending and being more efficient with the city budget? Do you want to give $7.5 million in subsidies to a to a hotel?
No, definitely not. No, I've been in the nonprofit world for 10 years, so I'm used to doing things cheap. There is no extra money ever, so anything we wanted to do, we had to figure out how to do it with the confines of grants that we funded by. So, I'm very used to getting multiple quotes for, you know, getting bids for items and going for the actual lowest one that gives us the best quality, not, just going with the one that
Okay.
somebody else is good friends with. So,
I was good to ask. I was like, is it kind of like the whole cheap the military thing where it's the lowest bidder gets the gets the contract, and even though it might not be like the best quality, that's where it's military grade, but you're like, that's the lowest bidder.
uh,
you know?
unfortunately, yeah, that's something that nonprofits have to do constantly. They have to find the lowest but the best
Yeah,
like
yeah,
value for the money. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've been I'm very much into that. Like I'm used to always shopping around for any service or anything that we needed at any of our nonprofits. So like
Exactly.
I'm not a fan of just, spending because, oh well, it's convenient. No, we need
True.
actual quotes and bids and make sure that what they promise is actually what they deliver.
Hmm.
So, we definitely don't want somebody like fixing our streets and then 14 years later, Highway 151 finally opens, you know.
Do you think infrastructure is is a priority in District 4, or do you think infrastructure is okay as far as streets and lights and all that stuff goes? I mean, do you think it's okay in District 4?
No, definitely not. We need a lot more lighting. Our streets are potholes constantly. And yeah, our infrastructure in this district is definitely not up to par. So we need to we need to do a lot more out there to make the area safer and just better and just, comfortable.
Yeah. Now, because this was a question I had for Councilman Perry in District 10. Do you think that some of the council people's district, right, that are in right now, or even in before, their focus wasn't really on infrastructure, primarily, uh, only due to the fact that that seems to be a common complaint from a lot of the candidates from like District 3 and 5 and 2, that the infrastructure is not there. Do you think that it's maybe and it's okay if you don't know. I'm just saying, do you think that maybe it's not a concern or priority for those council people? And if it is, do you, would you be somebody who would be, you know, prioritizing infrastructure if that's what the people want?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, my main goal is to get everybody connected, like to the internet. And I figure by doing something like that, we'd need hotspots like all over the city. Uh, then you could add cameras to them. You could add streetlights to them. You could have emergency charging on them. So, people would be able to, access whatever when they need it. I think if we had a citywide Wi-Fi, the police would always be connected to GPS. We'd be able to download their body cam footage instantly if we needed to. We wouldn't have to wait until they come back in, and I think it would keep them a lot safer and help with their accountability by, again, being able to access their stuff instantly as needed.
Hmm.
But yeah, definitely the infrastructure needs to be built up just so, after we need to do it in advance, instead of trying to do it as it comes up, like let's give everybody the benefit now and, focus on other things afterwards.
But do you think though it's a little too late to be? I mean, we're trying to play catch up, and do you think that we'll be able to catch up since we're growing so large, and
Yeah,
we're yeah,
yeah,
okay.
definitely. I
Um,
mean, San Antonians can do anything. Like
well, yeah,
we're
yeah. Very true. Um, all right. So Joseph says each councilman is given in SA is given somewhere around 1 million for an annual budget. What would be your top 3 agenda items to address for District 4, and what type of impact do you feel you can make for his constituents? And Joseph, anybody watching, you can actually come into the live stream. I provided the link up above. You can actually come in and ask the candidate as well, and the candidate can see these questions as well. So we'll post them up on here. So definitely, would you like to answer that question?
sure. Definitely. If wow, $1 million. That's cool. I don't even know. But I'm definitely going to be focusing mostly on the technology, equality, the human trafficking, and uh, homelessness. Definitely on this side of town.
Okay. And is that what you're hearing from the constituents as far as like what problems that they want addressed in the district, or are those are your priorities?
Well, unfortunately, the human trafficking one is definitely my priority. That's not something a lot of people are comfortable talking about. The homelessness is definitely something that this side of town is getting fed up with.
Mhm.
And I definitely feel that we can do better things. I know people that worked at Haven for Hope, and they had ideas on what the city could do better. And
Yeah, definitely. Hold on here. Where was I at? Where's it at? Okay. So quick question. Have you heard of ranked choice voting?
yes,
Yeah.
you talked about that yesterday, and I
Oh
love
yeah, I
that
did.
idea.
Yeah. I try to talk about it every time just because it's something that's super interesting to it's interesting because it's also cost effective as well. Any
Yeah.
thoughts on that as far as what I talked about yesterday?
I am very much for that. Like I believe you were saying that runoff elections cost $8 to $10 million or something.
Yeah, if not
So
more, according to
yeah,
the.
so I could definitely guarantee you that if I went to a runoff, I would just resign because I would not want to have the city foot that bill.
Right. Well, and it's just so much money. It's so
Yeah,
much money, and that's why changing up our election system the way it is. Yeah, people are like, well, nothing's wrong with it. It kind of is if you look at it, because if we're spending that much money on runoff elections that has low participation,
yeah,
I mean, that money can go somewhere else. That money could go towards to help with homelessness, and not to say that we're throwing money at that situation, but to maybe have some structures like you were talking about, like the hotels or whatever it is.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so and anybody watching has not heard about ranked choice voting, you basically can have, let's just say, 4 candidates, and you can just rank them in order by whatever number you want. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, whatever order you want. And basically the candidate still has to reach that 50+1 percentage, just like any other uh, election. And if nobody has reached that 50+1 percentage, then the last person in the last place would be removed, and then those other votes from the people that voted for that person first, all the other votes get tallied to the other people until there is a 50+1 advantage. And basically that would help um, create a little bit more unity, and you won't see as much bashing each other, because then you're going to want to get that second person's vote, the person's vote for the second slot, because it could help you. So, and then also, again, with that runoff election, $8 to $10 million every time, and then just in general for the elections as well. um, and this is a nonpartisan race, but it would cause a little bit more it would cause it to where it would stop us from being so divisive, or having the division between us, because then you're not voting strictly for party itself, you're voting for the actual person itself.
Yeah.
And that's really where we start changing our hearts and minds, I think. uh, so you would be willing to look at that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool. um Joseph says, have you had the chance to conduct constructive, open dialogue conversations with any LULAC, Border Patrol, or ICE representatives? What type of major challenges they face, and what remedies you feel you could curve for the better? Thank you for that question.
I definitely have not had any time to talk to any of them yet, unfortunately. I definitely want to. I'm familiar with what's it called? What's the word? My wife is foreign, so I actually filled out, all the paperwork, got her here legally, uh, things like that. So I would love to talk to them and find out what they think San Antonio could do better. Um, yeah,
Okay. Now question. So, do you think that you have set yourself up to be able to thrive in the situation, or do you think maybe um this could be a setback for you a little bit, because maybe you're not reaching out to these people already proactively, in a sense, or you know what I mean?
yeah, it's possible. I mean, this was a pretty like I put myself on the ballot 4 days before the
Oh,
the end.
yeah.
So, and I still have my actual job. I do.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So,
That's
and it's possible, but I think as long as I get the message out there, maybe somebody else will, agree with me and take it and run further than I can take it.
mhm. Yeah, definitely. Um, okay, so we kind of touched on this a little bit before we started the interview, but how do you feel about putting campaign contribution limits as a whole completely on a campaign? Not campaign contribution like limits as far as per donation, but as a campaign as a whole.
Yeah, definitely. I feel when I signed up for this, I agreed to spend $900. That was it. I signed the
That's really
contract
low.
that said I will
That's,
spend $900 and that's it. So
is that with the fee or without the fee?
I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah,
um,
I might have already that $100 filing fee might have already cut into my $900 limit. Who knows?
yeah,
But yeah,
and
I feel anybody should be able to run, and it shouldn't be there shouldn't be like a huge monetary gate to keep everybody from taking advantage and trying and at least seeing what the experience is like. So
right.
yeah,
Yeah, it's something definitely that if you've ever thought about doing, definitely try to do it. Obviously for the right reasons.
Mhm.
Disclaimer out there, right reasons and for the people itself. But you also want to make sure that you don't have that as a hindrance for you to try to run. Um, but also, we've had several people that and you can look at the campaign finance reports, you could see that people are taking out loans or
Mhm.
they're getting money from corporations or whatever, and that really makes you think is, why are we doing this?
Yeah,
Why are if you're going to have somebody that's in debt, if they win or even if they don't win, they're going to have somebody in debt and they have to pay that back somehow. I mean, it really makes you think of, why are we doing this? Why can't we change this for the better to where we're not spending so much money? Because it really should be about the people, not how much money you raise.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but anyway, right, you mentioned that was his top 3 agenda items, but has not been proactive on what he feels passionate about. Where is your commitment level?
I am fully committed to getting everybody equal access to um, technology and internet. I'm fully committed to doing everything we can to get rid of human trafficking because that's it's so much of it going on out there, and I definitely want to try to get everybody off of the streets and towards healing. The homelessness is a huge deal out here, and we can't we can't even get close to equality if everybody doesn't have the same, you know, access to, housing, to internet, to everything. And I mean, there's so many things out there with mental health, and I really feel we need to be doing a lot for mental health, trying to get them treated, get them going through, the programs like Haven for Hope.
Mhm.
Um, but I've also heard from people that, actually get the until they get the mental health part under control, if they are going through the program and they're not ready, they're going to fail out. And then when they are ready, they're going to have a bad experience from it because, they already had the frustration. So, we definitely need to be treating people and helping them get towards healing.
Definitely. um, what was I at here? Damn, I don't know where I was at. If anybody has a question as well, please do so. We want to make sure we ask whatever questions we have while we have Mr. Mueller here, so we can get to know more about him. So I mean, that's the whole point of this whole show. And I thank you everybody for also definitely commenting and asking these questions as well. It's very appreciative. Joseph says, how many volunteer hours did you pledge personally in the last 2 years, let's say for Haven for Hope, or any other related organization, to understand what the challenges are for our homeless and displaced family? Good question.
That is a good question. Unfortunately, I have not had a chance to do any volunteering for the past 3 years since I moved to my other job. But prior to that, I did a lot with the Rape Crisis Center and with different sexual assault organizations. SAPD, I did a couple thousand hours of ride-alongs and volunteering with them. And Haven for Hope, I spent some time out there a couple times as a Rape Crisis Center representative, talking to the people out there in the courtyard. So I haven't done it much, but I have lately, but I have done quite a bit back when I, had the time and ability before the kids were born,
Yeah, and the kids definitely they definitely take it. That's a big struggle too, is last year when I was running too, I was like, man, you have to spend a lot of time from your family though too, and really have a good strong support system behind you, because running for office, you have to be accessible. I mean, you should be accessible.
Yeah.
Not not flying off to out of the country. But I mean, just definitely it's the accessibility part. I think is a lot of people are frustrated with specific elected officials. They want accessibility and nobody's there. So yeah, definitely. Um, is there any other questions before we wrap up? And if I'll go ahead and ask you a question to give a little bit of time for people. But is there anything that you want to speak on regarding your campaign that maybe we didn't get to touch?
Mm, it's a good question. So, hmm, right?
I think I got one. The CPS issue. Um,
Oh,
yeah, I mean, I yeah. Um, do you think? Yeah. Well, I guess what's your whole take on it? I mean, I don't want to beat a horse to death, but I mean, I know that's a real big topic that people want to hear. But I mean, honestly, I think everybody's kind of the same. I mean, they want accountability.
yeah, definitely. Like I really feel that accountability and transparency need to be in government. Like I said, during the, previous big presidential election, I felt extremely helpless and it wasn't good. Like, and I feel that anybody that's actually working for the people needs to be transparent. Like, you have to know exactly what they're working for, not what business they're, supporting, not, who's sponsoring them. Like, I plan to mostly work with small businesses and nonprofits, like if I get elected, because nonprofits, those people are passionate. Like, they're not doing it for the money. They aren't getting paid very well. They are doing it because they're passionate about, whatever their program is for. And I feel that we definitely need to be supporting those people that actually care about, the people and not just their, profit margin or whatever.
Definitely. Jeremy says, how would you bring more money to the district? I think that's something that somebody touched on yesterday. Is it felt like there's not enough businesses in the district. So how would you bring more money to the district?
I feel that we could definitely put up some kind of thing like Dave and Buster's on this side of town, or we could even do like just a regular arcade that people can just come and hang out at. Those used to be a lot of fun. But yeah, we need to make it so people wanna be in the area, wanna actually spend time there, not just like get out of there and go do something on some other side of town. Um, so basically, what I'd look into whatever the people would feel that would make them happier in their neighborhood.
Yeah, and you know what I notice is District 4 does not have a TERS, which is kind of concerning, especially when David, I know you brought up the businesses thing aspect of it. There is no TERS in District 4. And for anybody watching, the TERS is basically a tax increment reinvestment zone, and it would give money to small businesses to help with their facade, I guess, the building, when people pass by it. And that's kind of like what was used for that hotel yesterday that I posted, that got the $7.5 million in San Antonio city subsidies. They used $1.5 million in the TERS money for the Houston Street, to give that to them. You know, I mean that the money's there, but that was just 1.5 million. So I mean, there isn't a TERS in District 4. Is this something that you would like to see done in District 4?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
That
and,
sounds
and
like
what would be the location that you would like to see a TERS at?
I have no idea where location. Sorry, I don't know how
No.
like big the office would be or anything.
Well,
Um,
it's the TERS is basically, and I'll bring it up here, so that way everybody can see what they usually look like. Um, so for example, hold on, I'm trying to bring up the map. And okay, well, this one might be in District 4. Let's see here. Let me share the screen here. Where'd you go? Oh, there we go. So this is a TERS map. Basically all the different colors down here. The purple, this mission drive-in. I don't know if I don't think that one's in District 4. Is it? This is in District 4. Is this
no, it doesn't
down
look like
here?
it.
That's 410 and like commercial. So I'm pretty sure that's still District 3. I could be wrong though. Let's look at it. Let's make sure we're all looking at the correct thing here. Hold on one moment. Sorry, I'm usually quicker than this. Let's see.
No worries.
Okay. Find council. All right. So District 4. Oh, it's probably real close. So District 4, let me show y'all here. Oh, let's see. Okay. So this is District 4. And from the looks of it, you have 410, but I think it's in this area, or it might be like half and half,
No.
which is kind of weird. Can't really tell from the boundaries of this map. There's Zazamora. I think it might be in part of it might be in District 4. So it's very small. So maybe it might be the Verano Verano TERS, but that's really small part of District 4. But if you look at it, everything else is all over here. You do have the Northeast corridor over here.
Yeah.
So basically, they're just these areas where it's encouraged to have like small businesses and things like that. Obviously downtown, but you know, it's something that there's nothing in D4 really, if you look at it. So I think that is something that maybe you should look into, or anybody in District 4, because I mean that's no money coming towards these, and if you're trying to bring businesses over there, then there you go. I mean, maybe try to get some of that action, I guess, if you want to say so.
Definitely.
Joseph says, would you like to give us an idea of what your 90-day plan looks like if you are elected to D4 councilman?
I have not gotten that far yet, unfortunately. I just want to work towards getting everybody as equal as possible, and definitely be looking into closing down the hotels and turning them into, housing if possible, and
Closing down that are inactive, right? I'm assuming.
Well,
or you mean
maybe.
active hotels?
Well, some of those no-tells that,
Oh,
the hourly hotels.
Oh, and then David says, "Great job accepting the invite, answering live questions. Good luck, sir." That's what I like to see. I like to see
your interview yesterday.
Yeah, I like to see where people are just being respectful to others, even though they're candidates, they're opposing people. If you can't work together now, what makes you think you can't work together when you're in office? You know what I mean? So, definitely great job, you guys. Good question. I don't know if were you talking about the TERS investment? Investing in crypto market, artificial intelligence growth would attract residents in the district for empowerment, specifically related to entrepreneurship and accessible future education.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, I'm a huge technology nerd, so I do own a little bit of Bitcoin, not much, because I'm nonprofit, so I don't exactly make money. But I definitely would be looking into helping people with faster. Sorry, I completely lost what I'm thinking. I apologize for that.
No, you're good with the cryptocurrency and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have too much of I don't know how good cryptocurrency is going to end up. Like after that whole GameStop debacle with Wall Street bets and all that. I believe it. I love the fact that we can have a hopefully decentralized currency, but I don't know how much that's actually going to help.
Yeah,
everybody.
Definitely. Right. Especially if you don't have internet equality. That's one of the things. Does Curtis Mueller have a website?
I have a very generic one right now at 1407.me.
1407.me?
Yes.
Okay. So is it like that?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's the website. And how can people get a hold of you and or help or whatever way?
You can contact me through Facebook, Twitter, my website. My email is curtis@1407.me. So I'm late night person. So
yeah,
I definitely answer my phone up until at least midnight.
Oh. I mean, don't be calling them. No, that's not free reign, guys. Come on.
No, it's fine. The wife and kids are asleep by that time. So
And Joseph says, "Well, good luck, Mr. Mueller."
Thank you, Josie.
And then Anthony says, "Starry stepped away. What about light rail? Do you think that is a solution for our city?"
Um, mm, Not really. I think it would be awesome, but I don't really see how we could do it.
Yeah, some people were saying that using the existing railways, but I don't know. I mean, if somebody could have a really good plan of that, and it's feasible, and it's, you know what I mean, like cost effective, so to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be kind of cool, but
I mean, it would be really cool, but that's not a good enough reason to spend that kind of money.
I mean, $7.5 million. So
Yeah.
no, but yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for coming on. Thank you everybody for asking the questions. If you want to drop a quick question in, you can. But if not, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Curtis, for coming on and just giving your time.
Sure.
Everybody stay tuned. We're gonna have, actually, we're having 2 interviews tomorrow.
Woo!
Which I don't know why I did that, but I'm trying to squeeze everybody in as much as possible. I'm only trying to do one a day. But I will be doing the school board and board of trustees for the school districts as well. Just because we really need to focus on those people, because on those elections as well, because we don't highlight those and find out what they do. Because I'll be honest with you, I still don't know what they actually do. I just know the name of it, and I really want to know why. Well, what they do, how is it important, and it'll be good to have that conversation, especially with so many people that are parents, so many people that have their kids in schools. We need to find out what these positions do, and if you know, great, cool. I don't know, so that's why I think, and I think I will fall underneath a lot of people as well, that they don't know what the school board does. So stay tuned to those. I think I'll have 2 next week. I am going to reach out to all the other candidates for the school boards as well. Just give me some time. I just got to do some calls. So, but and again, any city council or mayoral candidates that I have not reached, or you have not heard from me, I did contact you already, but I haven't had any luck with contacting you. So please contact me if I haven't haven't set up an interview, or spoke. I can't even talk right now. If I haven't spoken with you. So can answer Anthony Pastell's question. Which one? Was it the light rail one? I think he did talk about the light rail. Yeah, we talked about the light rails, and we don't know if it's a good solution or not, depending on the cost. Is that the one that you were talking about, Daniel? That question? I'm assuming so. Unless I don't see. Yeah. So, I guess if you want to just answer that question real quick again.
Sorry, the light rail.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it'd be really cool, but that's not a reason to build it because I feel the expenditure is not going to be you know, worth the benefits.
Gotcha. All right. Well, again, thank you everyone for joining and just taking the time to listen to these, because these are long. Yes, I understand, but these are important. So thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Curtis, for just jumping on as well.
Yep.
And good luck to you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for what you do. And I look forward to watching all the rest of your interviews too.
Definitely. Thank you. All right. See you guys.